Let's give it up for Dennis Lieberman!
Thank you. I'm not really good at this. I haven't really done this before, so son of a bitch. I'm not handy. I can't fix anything. I can't even fix dinner. I didn't even know dinner was broken. That's how unhandy I am. If I were stranded on a desert island with the captain and a bunch of people from a Carnival cruise, I think the captain would be like, okay, Ted, Bob, start working on the raft. Jamie, get those palm fronds for the roof of the hut. Bill and Jolene, get a group together and start to hunt and gather. Dennis. Dennis. Why don't you get started on the memos? You know, and speaking of things that are broken, the internet went down for 2 hours in my home last week. I didn't know what to do. I mean, I don't know what to do about that kind of stuff. I ended up calling complete strangers from the phone book to tell them what I had for lunch. Remember how cold it was last Christmas? It was really cold. Yeah, and I had my family over, and you know, we were fooling around. One of them broke a window. I can't fix that. Nobody knows how to fix that. We're urban Jews. You know? So what we just called for Chinese food and put on gloves. That was it. Don't ask me what a molly bolt is, or a Phillips screwdriver, or an Allen wrench. I mean, like Molly, Philip, Allen. Who the fuck are these people? I don't want them at my house. If they're at my house, I'm going to have to fix them a snack or something like that. And I told you I can't fix anything. Being handy, that's you know, you're like born into that. You know, that's the way it is. You're just born into it. It's like being a great chef. Everyone knows how to boil water. Everyone knows that. But what kind of person comes up with the idea of taking wet bread and onions and celery and stuffing it up a turkey's ass? Who comes up with that? I'll tell you who comes up with that. A handy person in the kitchen. That's who comes up with it. And what's really weird is how being unhandy is unfortunately so tied up with gender identity. Seriously, and you talk about Christmas. This last Christmas, we got a tree topper, which I tried to put up, and I couldn't. I tried, and I got glitter all over, you know, twisting. I got it in my hair, and on my eyelids, and on my chest, all over. And I mean, I walked into the kitchen, and my wife was there, and she looked at me and she said, "Whoa, that's a shitload of glitter you've got." And then she said, "Dude, do you have something you need to tell me?" Because if you do, it would explain so much. And being handy is a real macho thing. I remember when I was in high school, I would be hanging around in wood shop, and all the guys that were handy, they'd be talking about the girls that put out. And I remember thinking, I'm one of those guys that's probably never going to have a chance to put in. I hate not being handy, but thank God it fades with age, and also when you have enough income to be able to, like, hire a plumber. I did, actually, this is true. I did, and my wife is out there, you can ask her. I did hire a plumber one time, and he came over to the house, and he came in, and I thought I had a leaky pipe. He walked over to it, he twisted one bolt. That was it. It was fixed, one bolt, $150. And I swear to God, he gave me the wrench out of pity. I mean, God. And speaking of God, don't you think that it's weird that so many gods have only one name? There's like Zeus, and Buddha, and Jesus, and Allah, and Cher. And why only one name? I mean, was Allah originally, I mean, think about this. Was Allah originally like Allah Shulman? And he dropped the Shulman because he got famous? Or because it sounded too Jewish? And what about Buddha? Okay, is it possible that Buddha could have been a last name? Maybe he was Zach Buddha. And that when he was in high school, all the guys in gym class were like, "Yo, Buddha, high five. Buddha, yeah, Buddha, Buddha, Buddha." And then there's Jesus. Now, there's a qualifier. He was Jesus of Nazareth. That's true. But, you know, how good was that? You know, how did people identify him or differentiate him from all the other Jesus that lived in Nazareth? And how the hell did he get his mail? I mean, I can't even imagine getting any mail if I was Dennis of Short Pump. Maybe things got a little more accurate when he became Jesus Christ. Because at that point then, people had a context for understanding who he was. People could walk up to him and go, "You're Jesus Christ, right? I think I know your parents, Mary and Joseph Christ." I think that religions really need to modern themselves up. You know, they're too archaic. They need to, you know, just get with it. One of the things I think that they could do is use like advertising language from fast fast food stuff. Like, yeah, seriously, the Holy Trinity, that could be the big deity and two sides, okay? Or taking communion, that could be a Happy Meal. And if you're Jewish, an unhappy meal. Or maybe just a guilty meal. And imagine how many more people would pay attention and quote the Bible if it said things like, and on the sixth day, God created man. And he... One second. Right, okay. God created man. I told you I'm not good at this. God created man, and he gave him life. And he gave him fries with that life. And he saw that those fries were good. Very good. And that was evening, and that was morning, and that was the first supersized day. And can you imagine that when Eve was created, that God had to put an order in with Adam for a McRib? I once dated a woman who asked me if I was an observant Jew, and I told her I was, and pointed out she had spinach between her teeth. Non-Jews, particularly non-Jews in the South, I think that they have a lot of misconceptions about Jews. Because I was actually asked by someone when I moved down to Richmond, "Do you speak Jew?" And when I said no, they said, "You read it though, right?" And I said no, but then I said, my Uncle Saul, he used to own a dry goods store right next to Thalheimer's, and he would sell all the sheets to the Klan. That's what he did, and I was immediately accepted. And I was comped on shit all over town. It was fabulous. I mean, really fabulous. Now, I've actually been asked, again, this is true, I've been asked, why is it that Jews seem to have only 2 children, no more than 2 children? And I've been asked so many times that I actually came up with an answer. And the answer is this. I would say, the Torah says there's a fixed number of Jews in the world. If you want to bring a new Jew in, you got to take an old Jew out. And that really explains the 2 children thing, because it's the real slow turnover that we have. I have a friend. He and his wife wanted a 3rd kid. They were, of course, turned down. So they hired a hitman. And he went out and he killed Saul Rabinowitz. But it's okay. Don't feel bad for Saul. He was old, and at least he doesn't suffer anymore from diabetic nerve pain. I probably should mention, I mean, I've done all this Jewish stuff, but I probably should mention that I've really wanted to convert since I was about 5 years old. And that's when I learned that on Christmas, you get presents for someone else's birthday. And I thought to myself, man, if this is Gentile, I'm in. I want to know why, when I'm on Facebook and it's Christmas, I don't get a notification that it's Jesus' birthday. with one of those little present things, you know. And, you know, because he must be on Facebook. He's supposed to be everywhere, right? And then I thought to myself, holy fuck, maybe he defriended me. And I thought, my God. And then I thought, he's not even my God, I'm Jewish. Yeah, okay. Actually, I think he probably isn't on Facebook because he's kind of like old. He's been around for a while. He's probably still fucking around on MySpace. And what would a Jesus tweet look like anyway? It would be like, love thy neighbor, don't covet his wife, don't kill, hashtag it's this or hell. And speaking of being nice, I think it's time for us to abolish politics completely. I'm a flaming liberal, it's true, but I'm actually sick of both the Democrats and the Republicans, so I don't contribute anymore to either of them because I feel like it's wasted money. It's like, you know, throwing money out the window. And my mother used to say, you know, it's better if you're going to waste money to throw it out the window than it is to throw it down the toilet. And that's better because if you throw it out the window and you change your mind, you can chase after it. But if you throw it in the toilet, no one goes into the toilet. No one goes into the toilet. And when I thought about that, I thought to myself, gosh, that's so final. Then how come it is that when people have lots of money, they say they're flush? Hey, you know, but what do I know about all this? I'm pretty old. I mean, Jim referred to that. I'm pretty old, you know. I'm 69. I'm going to be 70 years old. I mean, really, next year? Next year, I'm going to be 70, but I hang around mostly with young people. I do. I hang with young people. They like me. I like them. The downside of that is that sometimes when they have conversations amongst themselves, they talk, and they say things like, you know, they talk about their future and what they're going to do and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like standing there. And the last time I did that, one of the young people, he was trying to bring me into the conversation, and he said, so where do you see yourself in like 20 years? And I said, maybe in an urn on the mantle. Possibly rotting in a box. It depends on how much cash my wife has on hand. And when I went home and I told my wife about this, she said to me, dude, when you go, I'm probably going to date again. Seriously. I don't want you on the fucking mantle. Like, what if I'm on the couch with some guy, you know? And, you know, I'm on the couch with a guy. What about that? And I said to her, oh, man, you're so uptight. You just take a blanket and cover the urn like a bird cage. You know, that's... And then there's sex after 60. You know, in the Viagra ads, it says, ask your doctor if you're healthy enough for sex over 60. Well, I asked my doctor that. I said, doctor, am I healthy enough for sex over 60? And my doctor said to me, you're healthy enough, but, you know, I don't find you all that attractive. And I said to him, really? Well, then fuck you. And he said to me, I don't think so, Denny. One of the real upsides of being old is you don't have to go out and buy weed anymore. Because you can get almost the exact same feeling from getting up from the toilet too fast. And when I thought about this, I started thinking about the fact that I have relatives and friends that are on Facebook that have been dead for like 9 years. I mean, like, once you're on Facebook, you're on Facebook. And every once in a while, I go and I would check their profiles just to see. And then this dawned on me. I thought it would be really cool to get a good friend of mine, you know, when I die, like 6 months after I'm dead, to post on my page my status. And I've told him I wanted to say, holy shit, it's hot. I never thought any place could be this hot. I so should have given more to the United Way. And then I want him to post other things because I think it would be really funny. These, what would you call these kind of things? I guess you would call them postmortems? Okay. I would want him to post, Dennis has joined people who are burning in hell. Or then one of those little hearts that says, Dennis is in a relationship with the Virgin Mary. It's complicated. It's real complicated. And then I want him to post for me, had lunch with Hitler today. Seeing if we can straighten all this shit out between them. He's kosher. Who knew? And I love the fact that once you're dead, you could post stuff on other dead people's pages and have a little dialogue, like even biblical dead people. Like, I want to post on Noah's page. And I want to say, Noah, hey, how come you have only one name? Who the fuck do you think you are? Okay. Now I want to try something that's a little different. I've not tried this before. It's pretty risky, but I want to try a little interaction with the audience. Okay, so here we go. Sir, where are you from? Virginia Beach. He's from Virginia Beach. He's from Virginia Beach. Yeah. Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach. Okay, thank you very much. You've all been a fabulous audience.
Dennis Lieberman, ladies and gentlemen.